Hello and welcome to another episode of RnD, relating
Yeah,
to
good
bait.
evening.
I'm
You
Douglas.
know, I'm August Wolf. I'm, you know, tired and happy as per usual.
Yeah, getting shit done. Had a really good week. Made good numbers. Was slammed, but helped a lot of people out, so it was good.
Hey, it's one of the more positive things about the line of work you're in, getting to actually help people like in their personal lives with stuff
Yeah,
that like
get
they need to have solved.
you get to see it firsthand. It is nice because
For
I'm at
sure.
the front line of the battle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's in a different way, but that's what construction was like. Is you're solving an issue for somebody that now, granted, a lot of the time in remodels, you're not solving something that has to be fixed. You're solving something that somebody wants changed,
Yeah,
but you're still getting somebody through. And a lot of times you are solving a problem that's like, oh no, this pipe was leaking and now the ceiling's collapsed in my garage. This needs to be fixed
yeah.
properly, and you
Yeah, I
know,
got to sell a couple gaming PCs this week, so that was nice getting hooking up somebody with new stuff. But then did a bunch of repairs and solve problems for people.
did you like higher end or just like
Higher
regular
end,
mid
too
tier?
higher end. He got a gaming
Oh,
PC for himself, did an upgrade, and then he wanted to get one for his nephew, so came in and bought it was basically he bought the most expensive machine I had out on the showroom, a custom PC I built, and then he
mhm.
came in and again bought the most expensive machine I had out in the showroom.
Killer.
So it was a
That's
good
that's awesome.
combo.
What graphics cards?
I think he got a 50/50 in his, and then a 30/50 was in the one for his nephew.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's decent enough.
Yeah, it'll run most of this stuff.
Yeah. 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 You're only. I mean, like you're not gonna run AAA games on like ultra
Full,
settings,
yeah,
are
you're
you?
not gonna
Yeah.
max it all out. And it sounds like his nephew's working with 3D printers and doing stuff
Oh,
in that light, so it
if
doesn't.
he's doing that with it, he's fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be overkill.
Like, oh, I have to render this model. Like, you're fine.
Yeah, it's gonna destroy those projects. And 64
Yeah.
gigs of RAM is also.
Which that's the biggest problem with my rig is I'm still running 16 gigs, and it's just like most of the time it's totally fine, but every once in a while I'm like, oh, these are those moments where RAM would actually be helping my system out.
Yeah. Yeah. And then for anybody who doesn't know, you can always open up your task manager and figure out what is choking when your machine is running slow.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Yeah, it's built in. Control Shift Escape if you need that on Windows
Or
anyway.
you can also Control Alt Delete and then just click Task Manager. But yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah. When I found out about the Control Shift Escape, now that's every day I use that
for
command.
sure. No, that one's just not my muscle memory. So
Yeah, but then yeah, aside from that, staying in good shape. Went and had a bonfire last night. That was pretty fun.
beautiful,
Had a couple buddies
gotta
over.
love it. Yeah, I've been doing more like the mindfully keeping my core just like tensed all the time.
Yeah, the
Like
mental exercises.
yeah, and like every time it lets go, like no, tighten up again, like pull it in,
Yeah, for my job,
and
shit. I bought one of those things that you put around your neck that sits on your back to where if you start looking down,
oh,
it'll
it beeps.
vibrate.
Oh, it
It'll
vibrates. Okay.
it'll just vibrate on your back so it doesn't annoy or nobody else can tell what
Yeah.
it is. But it's enough to remind you stop looking down because it's like
No, yeah,
fucking computers and like working inside of
yeah, you're
desktops and
always
laptops.
here. Yeah,
It's
for sure.
not great for you for sure.
Absolutely. It's one of the curses of being tall like I am is like
Oh yeah, that's
everything's
everything's down.
down. And so again, like when I built this custom desk, it's like no. I built it higher than a normal desk, not a lot higher, just a little bit higher, so that when I'm sitting and like have my hand on the keyboard, I can sit up straight and like comfortably still work the keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
My screen actually could be a little bit higher, but it's maxed out on the stand, so it's fine.
Yeah, posture is one of those things that slowly kills you. You don't even know what's happening until like you fucking go to do something or crick your neck looking over at something. I have to do it every day with working with computers. I have to constantly remind myself to just like tense up a little bit,
Yeah,
lean
pull
back.
it in. Yeah. What the key is it like you're tensing but without being tense. Like
Right.
you want to have the muscles engaged without straining them at all.
And then shoulders constantly being in like that when I
Yeah,
am
you
working
never
on a
want to be
machine.
here. It's
I
always
got to
back.
constantly pull myself
Yeah.
back like that.
No, it's definitely a struggle. I notice it when I'm in like groups of people because I'm so much taller. I'll end up like fully slouching just so I'm at
So I'm at
closer to
eye
everybody's
level
eye
with
level.
everybody. You're like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, oh, it's I'll catch myself doing it, and then the problem is when I like stand up and shoulders back like properly, I'm just like it feels so intimidating, and I've had people comment like, "Dude, you look way more intimidating when you stand up properly." I'm like, I know, I don't do it on purpose. You're supposed to stand this
Yeah, it's
way.
like I'm shrinking so that everybody else is slightly more comfortable.
Yeah, the curses of the tall man, but
Yeah. I did
yeah, well,
tips giving tips out. I did hear recently from somebody that worked in a bunch of different kitchens that you should avoid ordering the salad anywhere you go. And it was
okay,
because of it being one of the highest likely to contain bacteria or not be
yeah,
washed properly. So I thought that
yeah.
was an interesting one. So,
No, that makes sense. I mean, obviously, if you're going to a place where like they really care about their customer, like
yeah, I'm
don't
sure
order
there's
a salad
restaurants.
at a bar.
Right. I'm sure
But
it
if
does
you go
range the
to
type. But the
for
person
sure,
said they had worked in all sorts of establishments and like they could probably trust like I think they said 15% of the employees to wash the lettuce correctly. And I was like, that's
sure.
really interesting. I'd never thought of that. So that was a tip I'm going to take to heart and probably avoid ordering salad, even though we're all trying to be healthier. And I'm telling you, don't order the salad.
Well, I mean, the salad isn't even always the most healthy option on the menu. Like half the time, the salad it comes out and it's just drenched in
Oh yeah, yeah. I
ranch
guess it
or
depends on how
whatever.
you have it.
For sure. I mean, a nice balsamic, like sure, that's fine, but that's still a ton of sodium and sugar. Like
Yeah, it depends.
almost everything you put on salad, unless you just put like oil, which I've definitely done, but
Yeah. But that's something to look out for. I'm definitely
for
good at.
sure.
I'm taking that to heart just by the way that he was describing it. It makes
No,
sense. And
absolutely. And again, it does make sense.
Chipotle had that thing I think just a couple of years ago, and that was
Yeah,
with
the E.
their lettuce.
coli. Well, Chipotle's had E. coli like a couple different times.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Although
it,
I'm avoiding fast food in general. I haven't eaten fast food in so freaking long. I
yeah.
have recently got
I
addicted to Anchor. They have mozzarella sticks down there that I have gotten addicted to. So that's my guilty pleasure. But
It's
it
the
is the
dinest
best
bar
fries in
with
town.
the best pool tables in town. Dude, I was listening to a thing today. They're like between 15 and 18 months, and like something like 60 to 80% of white collar jobs are just gonna
Yeah,
fizzle away.
it's freaking
And
insane.
I mean, it again, it makes sense with how fast everything's updating with it. It makes sense that so many of these like clerical, especially data entry jobs, are just gonna disappear.
It's
And
gonna
then
be
it's like,
really weird. All the call centers are gonna be gone.
yeah, I definitely think there will still be a place for some people because like there's always going to be people who are like I can't deal with this machine,
Yeah,
even if it's
or
AI. Like
or it's gonna
they're
loop
like
you
no, no,
to
no,
death.
give
I
me a
mean,
person
they already have loop you to death processes when you
for
call a
sure.
big company and they're like, "Oh, let
You
me
can
send you over to
usually get
so and
around
so."
it if you know how to work the computer.
Right. You have to get around the loop somehow and get to a different menu, but they do it with real people even. So I imagine it's going to be a nightmare when it's an AI sending you to
For sure.
another AI and they're going to be like confusing what you're asking for and send you back to the first AI you were dealing with. That'll be some
Yep.
frustrating shit.
Although there's also the again always to try to play the other side. If they do it correctly, it'll have everything logged, like everything that you said
Hmm.
properly logged. And as soon as your conversation changes, the next sit part of the system will automatically know all of the problems you were just complaining about.
Well, that would
It
be
should.
interesting. Yeah,
Like
I
that's what's
should.
supposed
Yeah.
to happen when you talk to like customer service is they're data entering everything you're complaining about and be like, okay, well, I'm going to send you to the person who specializes in that. And instead of them going, okay, rehash this entire issue with me, they just go, read everything. Okay, I see what your problem is. Have you tried this? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? Like, That's how it's supposed to work, but it
I
rarely
pray
ever works that way.
that things get more efficient. I don't see that happening per se, but I have a prayer out there for that.
I mean, I definitely there some things will definitely get more efficient, but it's one of those things where again, it's gonna be majority like white collar jobs that disappear, and
Mhm.
then you're gonna have all of these essentially completely unskilled labor force that what what do they do? Like
Yeah,
there's
and
only so many McDonald's in the world.
everybody's in a rush to adapt to the AI as well. So
Right.
there's also going to be some really shitty AI things coming out,
For sure.
trying to solve all these problems just because they need to be in the cutting edge of things. And so there's going to
Well,
be a lot
and
of shitty things there too.
but again, what's going to happen is the good ones will just absorb those so quickly.
Yeah, those everyone will go out of business who didn't do it properly, and the
Yeah,
efficiency will take over.
yeah, and I mean I know that's a huge part of the rush is like America wanting to have the best one, the fastest one
The cutting edge.
first,
Yeah.
because if we're not first, then it gets eaten by somebody else's.
Yeah, and then
And
you bring up a good question with what are these people going to be doing that get out of college and stuff like that,
yeah,
and where there is only so many jobs. I also worry about that to some extent because it's going
I
to
mean,
be
I mean, what really should happen is people should go back to like farming and like put more of these
that would
people
be
onto
awesome.
farms. Like it would be fantastic. The problem is the big farms that could use more people aren't where the people are. They're out in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle, yeah, nobody's out in those areas where the bigger farmland is. I
Yeah,
mean, Washington's pretty
and
good. Washington has
I
a
mean
bunch
parts
of
of
cities
Washington.
and a bunch of big farm
Yeah,
areas.
and you're actually fairly close. Like even if you live on the west side of the mountains, it's only an hour and a half to the east side. Like
Yeah.
people commute that all the time. Not that I'd want to commute that for a farm job, but hey, if it pays well enough.
Yeah, right. I mean, then it's also like if things were more sustainable on that side of things, like if you were working a farm job and you got a bunch of food from that farm job, then it's just
Yeah.
making your life healthier and you're straight close to the source.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, not to take it dark, but like so many people, they don't care that it's healthier. They care that it pays and it's easy.
True.
Like, and so they're going to avoid those jobs at all costs. Like, everybody wants, the money for nothing and their chicks for free.
But yeah, there will be some very interesting times coming up with AI. I use it every day at this point
Yeah,
with troubleshooting issues and things like that, and with the podcast for
I
topics
used
every
it to
now and then.
write out my 2 weeks notice letter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, or my letter of resignation. I guess that's the technical term, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
The
no, that
those
was
things you want to handle delicately and you want to be professional and also be like realistic. I got
I
another
was
job. I need to
very
make some more money.
yeah, well, I was very upfront with everybody at my job currently. It was of like, hey, I'm looking for a job. Hey, I have an interview. Hey, the interview went well. I might hear back this week, and then heard back and was like, hey,
It's
this
happening.
this is happening.
Yeah.
Like basically, I have to pass a background check and a drug test. I'm like, well, I'll definitely pass the drug test, and I had a background check for the job I currently have, and I got it, so I should be fine. Like, haven't even more than just talked to a cop in 14 years. Like,
Yeah. I mean, you just got to be realistic. I mean, it feels bad leaving a company if you've been there for a long time and you
well,
want to
I mean,
respect
I've
that.
only been again. I'm not even in a company. I work for the state, so it's not even like I feel that bad
Right.
overall. I genuinely liked my direct coworkers quite a bit. And
Yeah.
so I feel bad. I feel bad that their workload is going to change, and like I'm fairly good at the things that I do, so I was helpful being there every day.
Hmm.
So like they lose that, which I do genuinely feel bad for. But like again, I have to make more. I have to make more money.
Right.
I'm on a zero sum game right now, and at in my mid 30s,
It's
I
bleeding
can't
me.
be I can't
It's
be playing that.
Yeah, in the back of your head, you're like, "That's gotta eat away at you." It's like, "I gotta do something different." Like,
Yeah.
I make a decent amount of money for my survival. I don't get any benefits because it's a small company, so I do
Yeah,
have
the
s
no benefits thing is a little tough, but like as long
yeah.
as you're able to squirrel stuff away and
Yeah, I can make
I
good
mean,
financial decisions and be able
yeah.
to account for that and make enough for it. Be able to support my dreams of being able to travel the world and do those sort of things.
Well,
I
I mean, you can genuinely as long as you use some of it for content, you can write off a lot of travel expense.
Yeah, and you can write off what you spend for making the content and the travel expenses. But really, I would like to take a 3D camera and go to ancient ruins and
Oh yeah,
record VR style
that'd
tours
be super cool.
of ancient ruins. Because then people who have disabilities and stuff like that, who are in their
Can
VR
go
headsets,
experience.
can
Yeah,
just go like I want to go to the pyramids and I want to go to these places and I can't physically do it. That'd be sweet to have that.
that would yeah that would be super super cool. And I actually I like that idea a lot. That's really really cool because
Yeah,
a
I like.
lot of that hasn't been done. I know it would be difficult to like do anything around the pyramids because they're so
The
tightly
government in
removed.
all the different locations, I don't know why that's the case. It's just like, I mean, I know they don't want you to accidentally destroy anything, but as far as just documenting, I
Yeah,
feel
I'm
like
just filming.
people should want you to be discovering things and be opening up people's imaginations and exciting
Yeah.
them about it. Because what is it going to lead to? It's going to lead to more tourists wanting to come check it out, more money being spent in your country. Maybe you don't want tourists. I mean, I guess I can understand that as well. Get the fuck out of
Well, I
here.
mean, the pyramids thing all just derives from they don't want the narrative that they've written to be changed at all. That's
Yeah,
why
I've
they don't
heard
want
that.
people
I've heard
looking
that. Which
into
is
it.
fucked
Like
up. It's like if your narrative is wrong, then
they don't care about that. Their entire career is built on this
protecting that
narrative,
narrative. Yeah.
and so if they're proven wrong, their entire life becomes you were wrong. Like
I mean, their entire life could be it was very important that you did what you did and that somebody discovered that it was wrong. Like it's
that's the way you should look at it, yes, but people don't want to do that. People never want to be wrong. Again, it's one of the things I do my best in all the time is I want to be proven wrong. I want to know where my flaws are. I want to see the thing that I'm interpreting incorrectly so that I can have the correct interpretation. I want to know the right answer.
right.
Like
Yeah.
I want to be right all the time. I do. I genuinely I want to
I
be
mean,
right all
that
the
would
time.
be
The
great.
problem is I am right a lot of the time, and then it's like, okay, now I want to be wrong even more so that I can know what right is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not afraid of being proven wrong at all. I strive for it, but I could easily
It's
just
more
take
important.
positions that I
Yeah.
disagree with
It's more
to
important to
be
have.
proven wrong, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about truth and like correctness.
Yeah, that's I guess the difficulty is that if you've made all the books and you've printed all the history already, it's kind of a
Yeah.
bummer to have to rewrite
Yeah,
all that
you wrote
shit.
what the truth is, and so therefore,
It must be true.
yeah, yeah. It's, I mean, that that's like the whole. Have you seen this? The what's like that conspiracy about the missing time? Did we talk about that before?
No, the missing time.
Yeah. So there's this conspiracy. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's
Oh, that like 100 or 1,000 years is missing or something like that.
yeah,
Like,
that like basically the timeline jumps from like 600 to like 1600
yeah,
and
I think I did
we're
hear
actually
something about that.
closer to in like the 12 or 1300s in terms of the history that we know, but like the dark ages was this thing that they're like, okay, no, we're actually going to jump and hide a bunch of history
Yeah,
that
and
should be there,
I
but
think
it's
it
missing.
coincides with some civilizations being wiped out completely from the history, as well as the mudslides. I think it's connected to the burying of a bunch of ancient cities.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, so much written history in that era was so kind of
I mean, it
finicky.
does. To me, it wouldn't be surprising to hear that a bunch of time and shit that happened on the planet is not recorded anywhere. I mean, there's a
Yeah,
long period of time where it's like
or it is recorded,
sparse.
but it's been misinterpreted, and so the time representation is actually off.
Well, right, and it'd be easier to misconstrue that, especially with the documenting of it only getting good. I mean,
in
after
the
the
last,
Dark Age, yeah,
yeah, the last 300 years.
yeah. And then I'm surprised there's not as, I mean, of course, we're in America, but I'm surprised that we don't have better history of the Arabic cultures and their science and
Yeah, I mean
history and
it's
stuff that happened.
foundational in terms of writing and arithmetic and
I mean,
science in general.
in
Like,
my own studies, I remember learning where the astrolabe came from and being like,
mhm.
"This is awesome! This is an
Yeah.
amazing piece of history." And I don't remember ever being taught that in normal school.
Well, I mean, American school is, at least it was, and I'm sure it's only worse
It's
now.
geared to make you
But like,
fairly decent in a factory, but not not
yeah,
if you were going
it
academically against
literally
someone on the
it
past.
was all designed to make you essentially a drone. Like they want to have you just head down, believe everything, and go to work every day. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Not enough of the
the,
creative stuff for the using your imagination, and
and
certainly
there's
not
also
enough
just
of
no
home ec.
flexibility.
Yeah.
There's no differing path for anybody. It's all just go to school, K through 12, go to college, get a degree, join the workforce. But
Housewife, kids, done.
the,
Like
the,
retirement.
there's so many other things. Like, I mean, not that Germany does everything perfect by any means, but like
What?
in Germany, by the time you're in middle school, you're getting like reviewed in how you're interacting with the world and the things you're good at and the things you're bad at. And then you
Yeah,
get
to help
tiered
advise you in
off.
your life on what it is that you'd be well suited to do.
Yeah. And so like by the time you're in high school, you have an idea of a career path and like are building the skills towards that. Whereas like in America, it's everything here is just general education. And yeah, there's a little bit of specialty you can get into. Like you can go hardcore down the language path or the music path. There are things there, but none of it like there's there's no term of like true focus unless it's self-imposed,
Yeah, no, like financial literacy. If there was something that was heavier on financial
non-existent.
literacy, that would make me feel more like the education system was like, okay, even if we did a shitty job at teaching you how to run, a healthy lifestyle. We had at least taught you how to not go fucking bankrupt and how to spend your money efficiently. It's like that part of it would have made me feel like it at least had my hand a little bit and were guiding me in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I barely knew how to do my taxes when I was 18. Like barely, I had to figure it out.
Yeah. And that's like something
And
everybody is like, you've got to do that. You absolutely have to do this.
yeah,
Where
no, no,
I
no.
feel like,
Again, it's one of the only two sure things in life: death and taxes.
yeah. But apparently I heard that if you never filed that you don't have to.
Oh yeah, no, that's a cool loophole.
I did hear about that. I'm not sure what the details are there, but I do know some.
I mean, I get if you went off grid style and just straight up never turned in anything for it, and were really good at
I mean,
keeping your
the truth of the matter is
location.
though, like you're still paying taxes.
For sure. No, I mean, anytime you buy anything,
Yeah,
the interaction in the economy at all, you're paying taxes.
yeah.
But it's
They figured out a way
income
to tax
taxes.
every single part of the process, literally.
Yes, well, I mean that is the design. Is you essentially shave it's like the office space thing. You shave parts of pennies on every single
Yeah.
interaction. It ends up being billions of dollars,
Yeah, and that's
trillions of
also
dollars.
with cards, with credit cards, with debit cards, with all these things. There's all these service fees. One of the
Yeah,
things I'm going to be trying to do here is writing checks. It's old school, but it's
mm,
a way that you can avoid all of these transaction fees that really
yeah.
they pinch the shit out of your account overall that you don't even realize. And credit cards are the worst, of course. If you could just avoid using credit cards, that would be great. I know everybody can't do that. And I've
Well,
said,
it's yes, but the thing that's nice about credit cards is if you use them correctly, they're really really good for something like starting your own business or something like that. Like because
yeah, they'll give
building
you the
credit
jump start.
without a credit card is quite difficult.
Yeah, that part pissed me off when I was learning how to be financially responsible is I was like, okay, so all I've done is be responsible and paid with everything in cash and
And you
never
have
had
a
any debt,
terrible credit
and now
rating.
I have shit credit.
Yep,
Thanks. They'd
yep,
be like, yeah, you've got to just take on loans and owe people money in order to be a good credit.
yep. Dude, before, well, when I was 30, I had a credit score of 805.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and then life happened and we ended
Then
up moving
I
across the
became
country.
21. No.
Well, yeah, yeah, I essentially regressed. And yeah, my credit score now is terrible, but I basically had to, I ran out of all my real money and had to just burn through my credit cards to
Yeah.
get everything covered and come across the country. And then it's like, oh, and now I'm sitting on this mountain. Cool.
Yeah, yeah, and then it's a slow chipping away at the mountain before it, like, actually feels decent, and then
Yeah, well, the
bundling it.
interesting thing is if you get yourself out of the debt, like once you're back to zero, you can build your credit rating fairly quickly if you know how to do it.
Yeah, and then one of the things that I did 3 years in a row was consolidate. So taking the debt, I wasn't like making a bunch of more debt. I was just finding the next account that I could get that would have 0%
And
APR
moving.
and
Yeah.
take all the debt. And so I just moved everything and clumped it into a different thing until I had the lowest amount of APR. And each time I did that, my credit score went up. And I think I'm at like
Yep.
750 something right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
that's
getting up
great.
there.
That's great. Anything above like 720, you're doing quite well. Like
Yeah.
that's, 725 I think is actually but doesn't matter.
Which puts me at that
Um
point where I would be making a business right now. Like now
mhm,
is when I would want to start a business with that credit score. But I work for a small business, so I'm
yeah,
doing what I would probably be doing. And if I did make a business, it would be in computers. I'd want to be using the actual skills that I've already obtained.
for sure. No, I mean the best thing you could do would be to like expand and like have another location or something like that. But I know that at least
Yeah.
not right now. You're not trying to do that, right?
No, I mean, unless it was with remote access. There's the problem with remote access that I had the last time is there's so much fucking remote access support fraud, scam garbage out
Yeah,
there that throwing around an advertisement saying I can log into your computer remotely and help you out with shit.
yeah,
Nobody fucking wants that. The only
yeah.
customers who want
True.
that are people who know me through my actual job as it is, and they're like, I know
Yeah,
that person, I trust them.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean there's a path to building that as a trustable business model, but it's
Yeah.
really difficult. It's
Yeah, it
really
is.
difficult.
It is just really difficult because your computer is what holds all your financial stuff. And so just the idea of letting somebody in there for
Yeah,
most people, I mean, a lot of the older people, they fall for those things, but for most people is like, I would rather just take it into a business and
for sure.
with a physical location is a lot more trustworthy.
Well, I mean, again, difficult business model, but it would be an interesting like experiment to be like the only way I can log into your computer is if you take this dongle that you buy from me at the store
There you
and you
go.
connect it because you could build the system that way where the only way you can log in is if the key is inserted, and then if they pull it out you can't log in. That would be actually an interesting way to kind of
I
make
like
that
that.
work.
Like a YubiKey, like it has a
Yeah,
security encryption on it that allows the connection, and you can
exactly.
actually physically unplug it, and I'm out of the system as soon
Yeah,
as it's unplugged.
exactly. So yeah, like that's it's like an access port. It's like okay, he wants in. Okay, I'll plug this in. He can have access. Oh, he's in a file. I don't want him to be yoink.
Yeah, right, right. That's a good one. So yeah, I'm on it. I'll go ahead and push that one forward. I'll talk to
Yeah,
ChatGPT
for
about
sure.
programming that
It,
and what it would take.
I'm an idea machine over here.
Yeah, no, that one would work because it does feel more empowered.
Yeah, it's tactile, it's tangible. Yeah,
Yeah, customers like that. There's a security benefit.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. But I'd say the really cool part about if I was able to work remotely is just the additive of being able to do 3D recordings of ancient ruins, travel the
For sure.
world, make
No,
that money, help people out. That would be awesome on all fronts.
yeah, no, absolutely. I want to travel so much more, but it's it's one of those things where I need so much more money to make that happen, like feasibly. And I'm at that stage now where it's like, okay, I can build a career with this company that I'm with now and
Yeah.
have, good money coming in, have a decent amount of savings, and and build up like time off for the next couple of years, and then be able to take 2 or 3 weeks a year and go and
Yeah.
do stuff like.
Yeah, and that I suppose would be the really nice thing is if everything was going well at my job, I could do the remote access and just be gone for a couple of months every year and go
Yeah.
travel, do the 3D recording. Something that excited me as a kid was discovering these ancient secrets from back in the day.
Mm,
Because history is
hmm.
so shrouded in mystery, it always struck me as like we're missing something. What are
Oh,
we missing?
yeah, there's no way we know everything as much as historians and stuff like want to think, oh, we've found all the things, oh, the surface of the earth is 99% explored and all these things. It's like, okay, yeah, but we still don't know everything. So much of it
No,
has been
yeah, like
washed away by whether it be water or weather or
yeah,
and
we
to
have we have
guarantee
the
you so many
ancient.
things have been misinterpreted.
Yeah, we have the ancient megalithic structures. I forget the one in India that's just carved out of one solid like
Huh,
rock,
yeah,
the entire intricate structure. And then, of course, things like the pyramid, which they even seem easier to recognize that they were built by humans than, the rock carvings in India
right.
that are just one solid piece. It looks like laser work. It's really intense.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've seen that stuff before. I can't remember the name of it, but
Yeah,
yeah, no,
like and
that stuff
subscribe, and
fascinates
let
me.
us know if you know of any other mysteries out there that we can look into. And then if we get enough going on the podcast, we'll go do some recording of it in VR.
Yeah, in VR, and you can watch my big fat body wiggle around in some really really small places.
It has
A
the little
fat guy
ball
in a little
recording.
coat, ancient ruins.
No, but that would be a lot of fun. And there is the having to deal with people who don't want their history to be
Yeah,
like broken. I mean, I guess I can understand that because they have an ideology on who their people are and where they came from.
yeah,
And you would be shattering that in some cases if you were able to find out that there was an ancient, multicultural system that traveled all around the world before all of this civilization that we have today. Which is really
yeah.
interesting. The Nazi symbol is one of the ones that's a really interesting one that they find all over the world in different
Yeah,
locations.
it's all over Southeast Asia, like
And I feel bad even calling it the
India
Nazi
and
symbol because I think it was India. It was a symbol of peace, but way
yeah,
before that.
it is a peaceful symbol, and it's not even
Yeah.
just India. It's all over Southeast Asia. And but it's the other direction. It's to the left, not to the right.
Oh, interesting. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
And then I know
it's
there's a
just a
bunch of
mirror.
there's pyramids in China. I mean, there's a lot of crossovers for this type of conversation where there's just so many things that we could learn
Hmm.
if the governments would allow us. And then there's also, if there is ancient technology, there'd be a reason to not let people learn this stuff because it could be ancient technology that's useful by today's standards, in which case you don't want people to be learning those things. You don't want them to connect
Yeah,
the dots.
yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, so many people. I don't even think it's that so many people aren't interested in it. It's just so many people don't even know to know that they could be interested in it. Like, because this
Yeah.
stuff isn't taught, because this stuff isn't just like general, not like
No, I,
there's
I
a
agree.
surface general knowledge, but then people just go, boring, I don't care.
I feel like
Where
it's probably that majority of people are just like looking back into history and seeing cavemen and ooga ooga and
yeah,
then monkeys, and they're like there's not a lot of imagination beyond that. There's
but
just like I feel like it's so vague that it leaves so much more to the imagination. There's so many other things that could come down, like the
well,
seeding of humans from an alien species, or from
which is
just the
entirely possible.
or the
Yeah,
dabbling in genetic code.
yeah. Well, I mean, especially because the jump of the human genome is crazy. Like
Yeah,
the DNA of what we can see as our predecessor. There's such a massive jump to us that it's like, no, there's
it still
something
doesn't
else
make
is
any
here.
sense. Yeah,
right?
and then there's even on the missing link, there's such a big divide of the
Yeah,
different human-like structures that we found.
yeah, absolutely. And then but then you see all over the world all these different like symbols and things to that point to something alien, and it's like, okay, well, this is
Yeah, I
starting
think
to
it's
sound more likely.
don't the Native Americans have an old
Oh yeah,
myth
yep.
about of aliens coming down
But
and communicating?
every old, historic, primal, however you want to refer to it, culture has these stories about, like gods coming down and changing them and making like
Yeah, and
it's everywhere on the planet.
I think it's the Book of Enoch that talks about
Yeah,
that
yeah.
which that book was taken out of the Bible. So,
Yep.
and probably for that reason, because that's kind of weird to think about aliens coming
Well,
down and
I mean,
mating
especially when you kind of realize that like we are the
or
beings
fallen
they're
angels.
talking
Yeah,
about.
fallen angels coming down and mating.
Yeah, the Nephilim and yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So there's a lot of wild story and giants. You throw giants in there, and then it's like, why isn't there more
Well,
history on the
if
giants?
you listen to the way they talk about it, that like the giants actually is closer to what we are. Like, these things that go
Right.
and kill everything and devour everything. It's like, no, that's what humans are. Like,
And I think I forget what the Pithecus is, but there is a version of pre-human that majority of the races were smaller. And then there's
mhm,
pygmy races beyond that. So we could still be the giants in
yeah,
comparison to that. But no, I'm talking about giants that they refer to as being like freaking massive.
yeah, like Titans. Yeah,
Ones that would make you go, okay, it'd be fairly simple to build Stonehenge or the pyramids if we were all that
and you just
size.
pick that up.
You just pick it up and you carve it into place.
Yeah. No, well, and I mean, you think about how much more oxygen there was at one point in history, and how big trees were and how large some animals were. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, there's some sense that
Yeah, dragonflies
there
that
could have
were
been
freaking
aliens and
huge.
much larger people.
Yeah, but the much larger people, there would have to still be, aside from the more oxygen, the physics still bother me a little bit with once
Yeah,
you get to a certain height
gravity doesn't really change on the Earth, at least not in any substantive way.
that we know of.
Right. Yeah. At least that we've been able to figure out.
The unknown unknowns are also that if we traveled, because we also have to remember that the universe isn't just like hanging out in one spot. The universe is also traveling, and then we're traveling in the universe, traveling, and then our solar system is traveling inside the universe that's traveling inside of the entire thing. So we're constantly moving. If we went through a part of space where gravity was different and it affected
Right.
us for, say, the 100,000 years or a million years. And let's say that chunk of space not only affected gravity, but it affected time as well. There'd be
Mhm.
all sorts of shit that could happen that's possible that we have no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, or yeah. Our galaxy went close enough to another one with a black hole that pulled all the, yeah, yeah,
Right, right. Or just affected a molecule in a way that we didn't even think was possible,
for
that
sure.
just made other things happen, other variables of shit that we couldn't even possibly
Well,
perceive.
I mean that, and that's all on. The shoot, what's his name? So there was that old radio show, the Art Bell. He was like did all the crazy conspiracy stuff. He talked to like time travel. He'd have time travelers call in and everything. And there's like this
Dude,
one
we
kind
should
of,
do that on one of these episodes. Have time travelers call in.
oh dude, I would absolutely love to run a call-in show so much because people are fascinating.
And
Um,
hilarious.
yeah. And they spur my mind to say crazy outlandish things. Um, but like there's this whole story of a guy who basically he's from like, what was it, like 2050, and he comes back to like the early 2000s to try to get a specific computer, and then he's like talking all this crazy stuff about this specific computer. It's the basis for, what is it, there's like the 32-bit coding system that allows, essentially, it runs out in like 2036
Okay.
because there's only so many digits it can have. and in order to fix it so that the timeline can keep going, he has to have this so that he can make it a 64-bit coding, and then it gives us like 200 billion years. It's so crazy, it's
Wow.
so interesting,
Oh,
and
nice. Yeah.
like, but because of the way time travel works, he's actually not from this timeline. He's from an alternate world's timeline, but he's just getting that machine so that he can fix his timeline.
Parallel
So
timelines. That
crazy.
would be such a bummer if you went back in time to help solve a problem and then you go forward in time and nothing has changed. You just go back into your parallel
Right,
universe.
because
And
you
so,
only changed that timeline.
right. And so you fix the problem, but you don't actually get to reap the rewards of it or see any sides of it.
Well, again, that fits inside my whole, hourglass theory of the way time works. That you're only existing in one specific point, and there is a perpetual reality branching behind you and in front of you
On every decision you make and how you
on
reflect on
every
the ones
single instant.
before.
If I decide to breathe right now in instead of out, that is another branch, and it's constantly happening.
Yeah.
If I pluck this beard hair instead of this one, it'll change my reality. Like
But
minutely,
I mean, realistically though, everything that you think about is changing your timeline and everything you do. I mean,
absolutely.
you have
And
the
in the
ability to
reality
change.
of the way quantum theoretically works, all of those realities do exist all the time.
Yeah, and the experiments are constantly changed by the observer, and we are the observer in all of our situations in our life.
Well, we're the observer and the experiment.
That's also true. Every day you're an experiment. Everything you put in your body, every thought you have, whatever you're doing, you are the experiment, and you're running all the tests at the same time.
No, we are definitely one heck of an interesting species, that's for sure.
Yeah, I wish we'd stop killing each other, but I guess for
It'd be helpful, but it's
we
too
all
much
have.
fun and there's too much money in it.
Yeah, that's really, I think, what it is everybody has their own idea of what the ultimate society looks like, and some people have their ultimate humans will look like, and they use that to fuel their fire for
Well,
attacking other people.
I do think, I mean, conspiracy-ish, but like I do think that is part of why any or all of the evidence we have about aliens is like so still hushed, even though there have definitely been things that have come out and been admitted here and admitted there, and you know but so much that is because if it was truly fully 100% confirmed that like we are not alone, guaranteed, here's the proof, it would actually help to unite people. And there's still so much money in us fighting each other. They're like, no, no,
Yeah.
no, we can't unite them yet. It's not time to unite the people.
It also
Right?
doesn't make sense to me that if there was aliens, there wouldn't be a lot of different
Yeah.
kinds of aliens. That would be the part that would kind of
Yeah.
surprise me. If they were like, aliens are real, I would expect them to say it like that, and then I'd expect them to be like, we have no idea how many.
Yeah. No, because it's essentially, again, with the essential infinity of the universe, it's possible that there is a countless number of aliens.
That's true. And with parallel universes, it's possible that there are aliens in parallel universes that are able to travel through
Yep.
parallel universes like we walk through a door. And it's
Yep.
it's just
And
absolutely
all
nothing.
this leads me back to Scientology and how we have to get rid of our body thetans.
Body beams. I have to look up what those means. I do remember hearing that word. Is that
Oh
basically
no,
like
yeah, the
demons or
thetans,
something?
they're the angered, withered souls of aliens that got dumped here by Lord Xenu,
I
and
also had this cool.
the reason you have bad thoughts and feelings is because those body thetans, those evil alien souls, attach themselves to you, and so the goal in life is to rid yourself of those thetans and become clear.
And become your natural self and your natural
Yeah,
frequency.
well, it's become Tom Cruise.
It's become Tom Cruise. Well, I had this. This is a fun, basically a thought experiment I had when I was a kid, just because it felt cool, because I was super into Dragon Ball Z and Super Saiyans. But I had this theory or this imaginative story anyway of humans were the most powerful entity in existence, and we were able to make and create and control planets and evolution and change any frequency into any object just from thought. And one of us or a group of us did something so terrible that all of the other beings in the universe put us in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And Earth is the prison. And as
Yeah.
long as we're on Earth, all of our powers have been taken away, and so we live
It's
mortal
like the
lives.
inverted Superman effect. Our sun actually keeps us from being
Right, but
powerful.
it's not even the sun, but like the whole
Yeah.
universe is a frequency device that keeps it so this planet locks us into it and makes us die and go through these miserable cycles and
Yeah.
fight each other and have paranoid delusions and like all the terrible stuff about being a human, the
Yeah.
fear, the pain, the all of it. We don't actually know what those things are in our true form, but this is the stasis that we're in until we
It's the
essentially,
punishment phase.
yeah, or it's our spirit that is being trapped, and so if we can ascend, if we can essentially do those things, get rid of the thetans in that
Yeah.
instance,
You
or
break free. Yeah.
yes, and get released, but also with the newfound training that you have and humility to not do
Mhm.
those heinous acts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that I think that is regardless of what anybody believes in, God, Satan, the Buddha, whatever. I think that is the overall goal in life, is to learn the lessons that life has to teach you and be as good of a person as possible, so that when you die you aren't full of regret, you aren't full of shame and hatred and anger and pain. You die gently, you die, and I'm not even saying like gently, like not in a car crash, but like you die
We're not on the
clear
battlefield.
conscience. Well, I get there's not. I don't actually think anything wrong. I love the whole Valhalla mythology and like that whole thing
I
of
mean,
like the only
I
way
think
to
there's probably,
truly die correctly is to die essentially in defense of your fellow man.
I was going to
Like
say,
that's
dying doing something you believe in is really what it is. Because if it's
for
just
sure.
dying on the battlefield can be a fairly hectic place. It can be pretty
Yeah.
chaotic. But if you know in your heart that you are fighting to, say, defend innocence, and you know you're on that side of the battle,
Well, the
then it
Vikings weren't doing that. They were more just fighting for survival. But
and to be the biggest badass out there.
yeah, well, they
There's,
actually had a pretty severe honor culture, but it was only
yeah,
among them. They did not honor their enemy really
right.
at
I was gonna
all.
say there's some real Klingon vibes for anybody
Yeah,
who's a Trekkie fan out there. There's some real Klingon vibes to the Viking like honor
yeah,
system. But I can
yeah,
appreciate that. I can see some wisdom behind fighting for what you believe in, and I definitely had an attachment when I was younger, and still do today, to the honor culture with samurais and with ancient
sure.
Japanese culture. There's something very wholesome about that, and it's also
Well,
just,
it's one of the things I find so fascinating, even about like modern Japanese culture, is that like just respect line that they've maintained so hardcore.
yeah.
And I mean, not that everybody adheres to it,
Oh
but
no,
most
and
do. Like that is a major part of like Japanese culture, is their like respect for each other. You got to leave like just one like frame of him in there.
yeah, making his face. Yeah, we could do that.
Oh, it's the best. But yeah, like Japan has always fascinated me with that, just because like the way my dad raised me was very much like not respect your elders as intensely as
Hmm.
Japan has, but like just respect in general is such an important
Yeah,
thing.
and
Like
I
the only
always had
way,
that basis
well,
in
the only
my
way to be
family.
respected is to respect other people, because if you don't show respect, how can you expect anybody to show it to you?
Yeah.
Like that, you know. And not that I can't be disrespectful, but again, I usually
You
am
know,
only disrespectful to people that I know. It's a personal thing. I'm being disrespectful on purpose to be funny or silly or whatever.
Mine was that specific sentiment of be respectful, otherwise someone, they're not going to reciprocate it if you're being an ass or if they're being an ass. It's hard for communication to go down on a
Yeah.
respectful level. that would make me fight with authority throughout all of my elementary school, middle school, and high school
Yeah.
years. Because if the teacher wasn't talking to me like I'm a human, and if it was talking to me in a demeaning sense,
Yeah. Talking down.
I
Yep.
wouldn't fucking put up with it. Like
Yep.
I'll do what I need to in the class, but as far as just like the respect, I don't have any respect for somebody who's just talking down to people like they're
Yeah.
chum.
Nope. It's well, it seems to be very common in the education realm of like they don't they're there for a paycheck, and it's
Right.
not even that great of a paycheck, and so they don't respect you because you're just some other punk kid who isn't going to take the class seriously and who isn't going to,
Yeah.
so they automatically like default to this
Right,
down
and I'm
speak.
not saying
And
it served me either. I mean,
no,
there's
no,
aspects of it where I could have aged beyond my years and just been respectful, even if they're not going to be. Learn what I
sure,
need to learn from their class and get the fuck on with it.
yep. Yeah, I always try to do that. I mean, I was definitely worse at it when I was younger, just
Yeah,
because when you're young, you're impulsive and you're silly. And I mean, I was just loud, and
I was
I had
having a
some
good
anger
time.
issues, especially when I was much younger.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I genuinely like being the bigger man. Like I always prefer to like de-escalate a situation and
that always
or just
felt the
watch
best
somebody make a fool of
when
themselves.
people are fighting and then you can like solve the problem too fast for them to want it to be solved. Like they realize that there's no reason to continue arguing, but you know they wanted to continue arguing. Then you get
Yeah,
to watch them both kind of be a fool while you've already solved the problem, and you're like, well,
yeah,
there's nothing I can do to solve the problem farther, so I'm just going to let those people continue arguing. There's no way to get
yeah.
them to stop.
No, and I mean, you could. I did it to a few teachers through my years of like I successfully prove them wrong, and then watch them try to like justify what their thought process was to the class, and it's like you can't just admit that I'm right. Like you have to. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's a
I'll just
time to
let
walk
that.
away from those sort of things, and like it's not every battle is worth it, especially on the petty stuff. But
Yeah,
back to the ancient cultures and the honor system, and the theory that this is, or not really the theory, but the thought experiment of this potentially being a prison for the human soul, or a training exercise more so.
yeah. It's a better way to look at it. Yeah,
Yeah, so I thought about that a lot when I was a kid, and if I felt like it made sense, especially on the if we're made in the image of God and having all eternity of life afterwards, there was something that congealed there as far as
yeah.
a thought experiment. And also, it was cool to think that you would be like a Super Saiyan, and you're just in this mortal vessel, going through the trials, and everything's harder on you now as a result.
Yeah, well, and that takes you to almost like Mormonism of like after you pass, you get your own planet and you
I
essentially can
forgot about
become
that.
God and can do this whole you know it's it's very interesting. Like I try to take the good parts of like all the religions, just because while at the end of the day, if I were to define myself as anything, it would be Christian.
Yeah.
But like I, I'm not. I don't want to be locked into one belief system because I don't think God is locked into one belief system.
But
Like
I mean, I think we force an image on God is essentially what it is. It's
otherwise,
good to have the thought process of getting better. You need to be looking at getting better. I think that's why Christianity makes so much sense to me.
yeah.
And of course, the history and everything that's behind it there. And
But
seeking God, in a sense, I think it's important.
well, we can only like imply and assume so much and so many things
Yeah.
in history because none of us were there. Like we are only able to read these things or interpret these things that again we may be misinterpreting. And so I just I think a lot of the anger and like tension comes out of people almost purposefully misinterpreting these things
or
to
or maybe
say,
once
"Oh, I'm good and you're bad," or
or
"I'm definitely right and you're definitely wrong."
that's, I think, what it is. It's once they feel like they know, then there is nothing else to go over. Everything at that point, anything else aside from their truth would be blasphemy, would be
Yeah.
heretics, would be those things that are, in some religions, just talking about those sort of things is enough to be killed. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's definitely
absolutely.
a lot of belief systems out there that don't allow you to speculate. It's like, listen, the shit's
Well, I
written down in a book, and you do this or you're an enemy.
well, that's that stuff's still happening today in around the world. Like the United Kingdom is arresting people for tweets. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that's borderline the same thing. It's just like with whatever you say that's against what the government wants is enough to get your rights stripped away.
yeah, again, it's the whole thing. Actually, to kind of bring it to one of the topics that I had, like the American potential is like this place was designed to be the greatest country on the planet. And in most ways, I think it definitely was and still is
I would say is
because,
still the breeding ground of the only breeding ground that can. I mean, we can fuck it up, but we could also
for
create
sure.
utopia.
Absolutely. Well, and it's the only country that has done its best to protect actual freedom. Now, in so many ways, the government is doing its best to fuck that up right now.
I mean,
But
if the government, or not even the government, I don't even like saying the government because I feel like there's agencies outside and inside the government that are making
for sure.
decisions like this, and there's other governments that are putting propaganda in there that
Yep.
heighten the amount of fear, heighten the amount of insecurities and anxieties and things that make you not want to be imaginative and think of a world outside the system that we have.
Well,
Just
I
think
always
you're
break it
trapped.
down like it think of like what is something that could get you to not say something or to lie about something. For most people, it's an amount of money. Like there is an amount that if you said you give me this, I will say or do whatever you want.
Mm.
That kind of level of blackmail or bribery, however you want to look at it, is the same all the way up, literally all the way up through like above the president into the shadow realm of these, nameless, faceless people
Yeah.
that I can't prove that exist, but almost certainly do. Like they also can get blackmailed or bribed, and so
I'm sure there are NGOs that have that type of power.
for sure. And it's, and the thing is, when you break it down that way, at the very top, it's always like, okay, who has the most money? And it's banking systems, it's oil money, it's all these different things that can push power and push buttons and make things
Yeah,
work or not work in very specific ways.
that was Teddy Roosevelt's platform that he ran off of, was how fucking intense the banks were, and that was something that
Yeah.
I'll never forget. Is like I always did doing the research on what he was going after. He was literally going after the things that have won, like the
Yep.
giant corporate entities that are able to buy out politicians and just
Yep.
change the name of the game. He went after them directly and didn't go after all of them at the same time. He essentially attacked bad business practices and made it very relevant that you did not want to be in the business of the people who did things like in bad business, and you wanted
Yeah.
to be a good business for the US, because he was also not against capitalism. So he was able to paint the picture enough to separate even the moguls, the big
Yep.
businesses, from all being in the same tier, which I feel like there's so many giant corporations that own majority of the other corporations that they're all becoming a little too chummy and monopolies at this point, which would make it
Yeah,
harder.
well, and I mean, again, we discussed. I think it was on the other cast, but like that, you know, their monopolies are illegal in this country. But
Sure.
in order to get around that,
Sure they
the
are.
company that owns half of one
I'm gonna
thing
grab another beer real quick.
just owns half of the company that owns the other half of that thing. So it's two different companies, but it's still one overarching agenda at the end of the day. And so they don't even compete with each other. They actually just price match each other all the way up.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. I guess I could see that just as easily as I could see, we both have these companies separately, and then our families marry into each other, and we go to the
yeah,
same fucking vacation cabin, and we discuss what. Yeah,
nepotism.
yeah, which is natural. There is a certain amount of nepotism that I just understand. It's like it's if
There's a level to which I understand it, and then there's a level of nepotism that is just
monopolies
nonsense.
is just monopoly.
Well, it's not just monopolies, it's also like putting your, very, very, very stupid son in charge of a company and allowing him to either run it into the ground or
Okay,
run it
yeah.
so terribly that you start injuring employees or just taking money out of their pockets. Like that has
I
happened
guess, yeah,
so
I guess
many
that is
times.
still nepotism. I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking of nepotism of meeting other people in business situations, or your
For sure.
kids go to the same
No,
school.
nepotism covers a wide range.
Yeah, it does. It does. But yeah, someone who's privileged and doesn't have any expertise getting ahead because they know someone rather than actually having the skills and the competency
Yeah.
to do a job is different.
Yeah, rather than trying to find somebody to fill that position who could actually
Yeah.
do it and make a difference, or somebody from within the company who already understands how everything works and moving them up. No, 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 I'm just going to have my 26-year-old son who knows nothing about this take it.
Yeah, they just
No,
got back
that's
from their
far
they just
far
got
more
back from
rare.
their college education in some other field entirely. They
Yeah,
took a year off partying and then they go straight to CEO of the company.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then they do nothing and they sit in their corner office and bang the secretary.
That sounds all too real of a scenario.
Well, I've seen a couple situations.
But yeah, where do we go from here? We went straight from
Well, I mean, again,
theories of the
I think
universe to
no,
nepotism and banging
yeah,
the
dude, we'll go
secretary.
all over the place. So I mean, I think my favorite of the other three that I sent you is definitely the it's actually it's older, but the irradiated rhino horns.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything on that.
I think that's just one of the coolest. So essentially, there's this kind of movement happening where they're so rhino horn. The main reason why most people like why people poach rhino.
Yes, for the horn.
So like yeah, so they're grinding up these horns and they're an aphrodisiac and they're all these different. They make tea out of it and yada yada. Like it's horrible practice. It's
Yeah,
very
one
foolish.
of the
It's
last
silly.
ones that I heard of is that they were painting them pink
Hmm.
permanently.
Yep. Yeah. That from what I know had some success, but was also kind of a detriment because what would happen is because they're pink, they're way easier to spot
Yeah, it's definitely
and
bad for
then
sighting
they
them.
would still get poached and just grind the paint off and boom you got fresh rhino horn. But by irradiating them now you're also potentially irradiating the rhino.
That's what I was thinking.
But dude, we're gonna have the real life rhino from Spider-Man. Like it's gonna be great. But it is an interesting concept that like okay if we irradiate the horn then if even if somebody did then poach it, they're just gonna get radiation poisoning by ingesting it.
Gosh, I wish there was an easier way to do this. I watched a documentary on basically poacher hunters, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like so down. I was like,
Yeah. Oh, I'd do it. I would
if
love
I
to.
had a group of people and we could go over there with like modern tech and we just
Yeah.
had like thermal drones and fucking sniper rifles with
Uh-huh.
darts in them, that sounds like it would make great reality television.
It would be one of the coolest, most fun things in the world.
But my
You'd
mind,
probably somebody would die, but it would be
no,
great.
no, my mind worked overtime on this idea. The reason that I used darts is because I'm actually poaching and catching the poachers. So
No, I
I'm
understand. I'm saying
and
one of
and
the
then
hunters would die.
oh yeah, well we're gonna be nicer to the poachers than the poachers are gonna be to the hunters for sure,
Exactly.
for sure. but we'll have the advanced tech. So that'll
All
be
right, nice.
where it kind of balances off. But what I was thinking is you actually come up with jobs that these people can do to make a living. So you don't only
Mm,
stop them from poaching, you're getting people that are actually trying to make money and they have reasons that they're trying to survive and families and all these things. And you don't
yeah.
just end it at catching the people and imprisoning
Wait,
them.
so you're implying that they're not doing it just for the love of the game?
If they are doing it for the love of the game, they're going to jail then, all right? So fine, you got me. But if they are just doing it to make ends meet and those sort of things, you have to give them
Yeah.
an opportunity instead of just throwing them straight into jail and then having other people have the same idea and need to make money and go do the same thing. You actually give them some sort of chance to get out of this cycle.
This is very Goku of you. Like take the bad guy and give him another chance.
Just give them another job and another chance. I mean, I'm sure we could do it with Somali pirates and shit like that too, but it would be more difficult.
It would definitely be more difficult. But I mean, you get those guys on some shipping ships, and you might see some wonders happen.
Yeah. No, but I do think that there's a lot in the world that we view as terrible that is
Mm,
actually people in really shitty, desperate situations that
yeah,
it's their version of crying out for help is they're doing the last thing they want to be doing, but it's all they can do to make money and get by.
yeah, riffraff, street rat. I don't buy that.
Thanks for the quote.
All
But
day,
yeah,
baby.
there is that feeling. I don't buy that. Quoting Aladdin, that's genius. But
Oh
yeah,
my
so
god, baby.
I do I guess that is my having more faith in humanity
No,
than a lot of
absolutely.
people.
I again, I for as many times as I go dark, like I prefer the lighter, happier side of
If
the
it's there,
ideas
man,
about
if it's
people.
there, I'll try to find
Yeah,
it. That's essentially it.
exactly. Again, I'm a silver lining kind of guy. Like there is something good in the worst situations. But again, when I look at the reality of so much of the time, you give that person a second chance and they just do the same wrong thing again.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, like okay, so I
That
give
is
you a
a
second
sad
chance and
reality.
then a third chance and then a fourth chance.
And that would be in the stakes of with the poachers per se. If you were to catch the poacher and then give them another job and then you
So you
catch them
tag the
again.
poacher. No, you tattoo the poacher.
Oh my
And then if
gosh.
so and then the other one that I definitely found fascinating article was the tofu brine battery.
Yeah, I did look that up. That's really interesting.
It's so interesting. Like
Yeah,
it,
we're getting there. Somebody's going to discover something soon and get us out of as much of an energy crisis as we appear to be in, or they'll come up with a good idea and they'll get shot, and we'll go back to burning oil.
well, I know what was it? It's probably 2 or 3 years ago they came up with that that crystal lattice battery that like
Yeah,
worked, but the problem was the charge and discharge rate was so low that in order to like have a
it
fusion
wasn't
one,
enough.
it would have to be so massive
Yeah.
and it would still take forever to charge it.
And I still think that that's how it is with as much as there's no real perpetual motion that lasts forever, there is a large enough scale of a
Yeah.
weighted turbine with a perpetual motion style engine. With the bean shaped magnets. I don't know if you ever looked into those, but they essentially just look like little bean shapes on poles that are able to make some force. And then there's some capabilities of doing it with water. With what the hell is that physics term? Like and subscribe and comment if you know the physics term for the tube that gets skinnier as it goes up, and water will actually travel upward. So there is some ways to make energy out of falling weights, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'd say the water burning cars from back in the day, and those people who had discovered those things and then disappeared, and then I haven't heard anything about that sort of stuff since.
It's even hard to look up online. Like you can get some stories, but most of it is like if you dig through it, they're like, oh, this was debunked. Like this was
Yeah,
made
is it
up.
debunked and never a thing? So I mean, there's also a potential for those sort of stories to be made up.
Oh, I no, I there was definitely some real ones. Like there was the guy who he tuned his carburetor, back in like the mid '70s with during the oil crisis or the gas crisis. Um, he was fiddling and he essentially got um like I think it was a Lincoln something, but by tuning his carburetor, he managed to get his car to get like close to 200 miles per gallon,
Oh,
and
jeez.
then the whole it just disappeared. Like all the records and everything just disappeared, and it's like, but he
Yeah.
figured out how to you oh no because that wasn't using enough gas. Got it. Yeah, you didn't want that gas.
Yeah, and then there's also the Tesla and all of his inventions just disappearing
Yeah.
after he passed away and
I mean,
making him look
especially like
crazy.
wireless power transfer and using like geothermal electricity. Like it's
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's like potentially almost free energy. It's not free, but geothermal and using the Earth's frequencies, there's a lot of stuff I could see would make a lot of power easier accessible to everyone. And if that's not happening, then more money is going to electrical companies and big businesses. So it's easy for me to see it. I guess on the conspiracy side of things, it's easy for me to get caught up in those sort of things because I'm like, okay, this would be really good for society, but it doesn't make a lot of money. And then, oh, what do you know? It doesn't go anywhere.
yeah. No, that's the root of it all every time is like if there's still more money to be made the way we're doing it, we're going to keep doing it that way because you have to suck every ounce of gold out before you change directions. And I mean that's what's happened even with like solar and wind energy is like the oil companies saw that where the stuff was going and was just like, oh no we'll just buy the solar and wind companies and then we own all the energy.
I mean,
Yeah, let's do that.
and to be honest, I mean, we play a role as consumers. We do
For
play
sure.
a role in the part of the machine. If we all tomorrow just stopped buying shit, they would have to come up with something that we would buy. And if the only
Yep.
thing we would buy was really efficient clean energy devices, we would have really efficient clean energy devices because it's all that we would buy. So they would
Yeah,
have
but
to
then
make
there's
it.
also the argument that if those aren't available, then how do you buy them?
Well,
Because like you
you
still
just
you
don't
still got
buy
to get to work.
anything. You just don't buy anything else.
Yeah, but you still got to get to work though.
That's
Like
true.
you
That's true.
you
The
know
show must
the
go
problem is
on.
there is no hyper efficient car right now. There is no car that I can
Yeah.
hop into and get 200 miles per gallon, other than a couple hybrids that are kind of close to that. But like
Right.
even then, I think most hybrids are like in the 80 to 90 mile,
Right.
and
And not everybody
some of
can
the
buy
really
one of
tiny
those.
ones are like the 150 range. But like they hold 3 gallons of fuel and they're tin boxes that you will die in. Like
Yeah, true. I mean, to some extent, it takes people that are already up at the top of this system to be like, we need to pump more money into trains so that
yeah,
people can get around a lot more efficiently. We're not burning off as much gas. People don't have to have as many cars on the road, which will frankly be good for the environment as well. And then,
yep.
and then people could start using their extra free money from the economy to purchase things that are better for us.
Yeah, well, and it's why I don't totally understand why so many of the people with hundreds of billions of dollars don't do more to like push up the bottom part of society because like that money if more lower class people have more money they spend more money so then more money moves faster and expands everything.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just try to hide all the money at the top, it doesn't go anywhere except back into the market and do weird,
And
dumb
yeah,
circular
and
things in the
I have
market
another
that
saying.
only make other rich people richer.
I have a saying that we use in the business all the time is two heads is better than one. And it goes along with if you did have more people throughout all of society that had more money in their pockets and people had more time to be able to come up with creative ideas and solutions, then you have more um, what did you say in one of our last podcasts? The what the hell is it? Something about the invention coming out of necessity.
Oh no, yeah, necessity is the mother of all invention,
Yes,
or
necessity is the mother of all invention. So essentially, that is, if you had more people, we all have similar problems. If we all had more money, then there would be more people coming up with
yeah,
solutions for all different things in all walks of life.
yeah. It's definitely. I mean, the whole thing is so wildly complicated, and like, for as many things as I don't like about Elon, at least he's putting his money into things that are in theory to advance humans and society. Like, it's not all just self-serving. Well, a lot of it I
Well, you
think
don't
is
know. You don't know.
self-serving,
Once
but
the army of robots have been released, then you can tell me what it was all for.
they're coming, man. They are coming. Really curious what the robots are going to do. Like, it's
That'd be funny if they were just hanging out. They were like, "What do you want to do?" They're like just not
they
actually
start
doing.
smoking, like
Yeah,
sitting on
right. They just
stoops.
start
They're
taking
just
up
like,
bad
hey,
habits. They're like, "Get to work, buddy." Shit. That garage.
they literally all come out and they're just Bender.
They're just all drinking beer and yelling at people.
Oh, it would be the best. I mean, knowing Elon's fascination with what a dick Grok is, that's probably
Ugh, that's rough. But yeah,
well.
again, interesting
Them's the
times.
breaks.
Yeah, I think let's just call it at that. We've been all over the place and back.
Absolutely.
I
We
appreciate
will
the
we'll
conversation.
go everywhere and discuss anything.
Again, this is all strictly a thought experiment, hypotheticals, theories, just
No, I'm right about pretty much everything.
in an extremely humble way. I am the
Oh,
most right.
I'm so humble.
In fact, I'm
I'm
the
like the
most.
most
Yeah,
humble.
there you go. So I win. All right.
Uh,
I appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging out.
Peace.